Justice will have been imprisoned for nearly 2 years without a conviction. The right to a fair trial must include the right to prepare for it in freedom, not behind bars. And while we are frozen in time, the world carries on without us. But our thirst for resistance and action continues unabated. Despite the silence of prison isolation, we wait for news of the movement with anticipation and ask our visitors what's happening out there. Is the movement still going strong? Any morsel of news is a blessing and renews our motivation, helping to remind us why we were sent here in the first place. The prison system is designed to grind down its captives, to make them feel small and forget that the outside world exists, that our political beliefs and actions are irrelevant and stupid. We are here to show them that these blatant lies that the prison tells us are not true, that their gaslighting and manipulation falls on deaf ears. In this way, the illustration of superiority that they cultivate crumbles in their hands, leaving them rightly sham-faced and exposed for the petty bullies that they are. We are also here to honor the Palestinian prisoners, many of whom have been recently released, and those that survived tell us horrific stories of torture at the hands of sadistic prison guards. Just like them, our comrades here in the prison and around the country were forcibly disappeared at the hands of the state. We understand the importance of taking our lessons from the international resistance and specifically its prisons, who light our path with their clarity of vision and wisdom and help us to keep our focus. They are not distracted by the frivolities of everyday life, and they understand the oppressor because they are face to face with them every single day. The prisoner, George Abdallah, who was Europe's longest serving political prisoner, spent 41 years in a French prison and was recently released. It was a great victory for the resistance. It was a great victory for the resistance, and from him we can take many lessons. After his release, he said, "The revolutionary in prison is released when detaining them becomes more costly than freeing them." When France realized that releasing George Abdallah was the best way to weaken the movement for Palestine, it decided to set him free. Solidarity with the revolutionary, whether in France or elsewhere, does not succeed by putting them on ice. It succeeds when their comrades abroad, those standing in solidarity with them, manage to integrate that solidarity into the ongoing struggle against active imperial forces, not in illusionary battles. That is when the demonstrator calling for George Abdallah release frames the demand as an entry point to condemning genocide, an entry point to denouncing the brutal war on Lebanon, on Iraq, on Iran, and so on. So it is essential that we work together across borders, oceans, and continents to make the resistance international. Just as borders cannot contain us, neither can prison walls. We are united in our struggle to tear down the prison walls on behalf of our prisoners. It is their firm belief that their role is to push forward and amplify the movement for Palestinian liberation by any means necessary. And that's why this week they have declared an open-ended hunger strike to start on 2nd November, the anniversary of the Balfour Declaration. They commemorate this shameful act by the British government by resisting in the only way they can, using their bodies as tools for liberation. It's our responsibility now, outside the prison walls, to mirror and amplify their sacrifice. Their sacrifice is bold and honorable as they run towards freedom. As they want to run towards freedom, run towards justice and towards life. They take back power into their own hands and stand as the accusers, not the accused. They accuse the British state, the Zionist entity, and the arms companies that profit from death, and that is why they are feared by those same people and why they are in prison. The demands are entirely reasonable, but since the British state will never willingly give people their basic rights, the prisoners are left with no other choice but to strike for them. These are their demands. End all censorship. We demand to be able to send and receive communications without restrictions, surveillance, or interference from the prison administration. Freedom of expression is a fundamental human right that is vital for prisoners whose voices are already systematically silenced. Censorship inside prisons is a tool of control used to punish resistance. Letters, phone calls, political statements, books, and all other forms of expression must be respected. Secondly, immediate bail. We demand that we be released from custody while awaiting trial. Holding people on remand, in some cases indefinitely, is a deliberate abuse of power used to punish prisoners before they have even faced a court or been convinced of any crime.